and welcome. You're watching a very special edition of our special health show called Medically Speaking. I am Meenakshi Upreti. Today, we will be talking, of course, about what else but COVID. Today, when we speak of wealth, we think of coronavirus. But it's, of course, a very difficult situation for all of us. But what about those who have comorbidities, those who already are suffering? Today, we will be talking about a very special segment, but there are a lot of them. Yes, I'm talking about COVID and liver diseases and the management of liver diseases. And to discuss the same, we have, of course, the most eminent personalities, doctors, as far as the field of liver gastro goes. We have Dr. Sareem, Head Director ILBS. We have Dr. Arora. He is the HOD and Head of Liver and Gastro Department of Sir Ganga Ram Hospital. We also have Dr. Kaushal Madan. He is the head of, he is a principal director and head of hepatology from the Max chain of hospitals. Good evening, all of you doctors, and thank you for joining us. First of all, I'm going to start with Dr. Sareem. Sir, my very first question to you, there's a lot of anxiety as far as COVID-19 is concerned. And as I said earlier, it's manifold, it's multifold when it comes to liver patients. You have, of course, many of those patients. We will be talking about liver patients who get COVID, how they can manage it. But the first question which comes to anyone's mind is how should a liver patient, someone who perhaps has fatty liver, liver cirrhosis, how should they go about their regular checkups? Should they visit hospitals? Should they consult you all over video? What are they supposed to do? Because there's a lot of fear as far as COVID is concerned.
See, first I want people who are listening to know which side of the body and where is your liver. Can you put your hand and tell me where is your liver?
Yes, yes, it's here, sir.
That's not on the left side.
No.
Liver is on the right side here.
Right side, right.
Right. So if you do all your things right, then the liver remains right.
Okay.
If you do your things wrong, I don't want to say anything for any society, then your liver goes bad. So first you must know, liver is located here. It's a 1.5 kilograms heavy organ, one of the largest organs of the body. And it is the one which keeps other organs happy. So once the baby in the womb, do you know where the blood is made? Blood is made in the liver.
Yeah.
After birth, it is the bone marrow. The bones make the liver. So liver and the bone and regeneration are two sides of the same coin. So liver is as important an organ. It used to make blood in the womb, and after birth, it is a very important organ. All metabolism, nutrition is all through liver. Now suppose you put a lot of stuff. Let's say एक ट्रक का सामान आप कार में डाल दो तो क्या होगा? कार का पिचक जाएगी. So similarly, if you put lot of fat, lot of extra weight on the liver, poor liver will give up. So that is what happens when you have fatty liver. You have an obese guy, you have a guy who has lots of calories dumped onto the poor liver. What you eat goes through a bowel and everything goes to the liver. So if you put lot of stuff on the liver, then it is not a healthy liver. The liver has fat. If there is extra fat for too long, the liver will shrink and it may become fibrosed, scarred, and late stages is cirrhosis. Of course, alcohol added on to this or alone, viruses, they all cause damage. So your question is, how do you know whether your liver is healthy or not, and how do you get a simple checkup? Liver is a sturdy organ. It doesn't go bad unless you insult it. Like I said, put extra weight onto it or extra insults. All are inflicted insults. Alcohol, virus, all are inflicted. So we can remove them and for a checkup.
But sir, the question actually was that in the time of coronavirus, those who already perhaps have these diseases, they also have a lot of apprehensions as far as their regular checkups is concerned, because that's also extremely important for them. Should they skip it as of now? Should they visit hospitals, or should they stick to video consultations? What would be your advice to those who already have liver diseases, but perhaps don't have COVID, have an anxiety and fear of COVID in the back of their mind?
See, those who have fatty liver certainly are not having disease. Fatty liver itself is just extra fat. But if somebody has cirrhosis, I was just coming to that, somebody has cirrhosis and he knows somebody who has got alcohol liver injury or have cancers, they all require treatment. They all require monitoring. So don't put it away. Your treatment for all liver diseases must be given, should not be delayed. Suppose somebody has jaundice, you can't wait for that. You have to get it treated. So whether you go by teleconsult or by going to the hospital, but treatment is required.
Okay.
What you can do at home is that, of course, you continue your own diet and the prescription what the doctor has given.
Right. You speak rightly about diet, and I would like to bring in Dr. Arora at this point of time. Sir, as far as liver patients are concerned, we're discussing, a fear of COVID, and we all know that because of the fear of COVID, there is a lot of concoction of medicines which many of us are consuming already. There are alternate medications which many people are taking. There were reports that Giloy could cause some liver damage, and later there were reports, no, it doesn't do that. What would be your stand on this alternative medication when it comes to avoiding coronavirus or just taking these medications as a precaution, sir?
Thank you, Meenakshi, for having me on your show. As Dr. Sareen rightly said, liver is an organ which starts serving you selflessly even before you were born. That means you are in the womb of the mom. And it is an organ which does not require any servicing, does not require any maintenance till you intentionally or accidentally try to injure it. You do not need any medication, you do not need a specific diet, you do not need any type of maintenance, but do everything to prevent the damage. Two major reasons why the liver gets damaged is, as Dr. Sareen said, if you are having too much of the calories in the diet, so initially it gets deposited in the peripheral tissues, that is subcutaneous tissues. And once those stores get exhausted, it tends to get into the vital organs, of which liver is extremely important. Liver is a central organ for metabolism of the various proteins, for production of the proteins, synthesis of the proteins, and integrated metabolism of fat, carbohydrate, as well as the proteins. It also is known to produce a number of coagulation factors, both for coagulation and anticoagulation. So it is a central organ, unlike heart, which is just a mechanical pump. It just takes in the blood, impure blood from the veins, pumps it into the lungs and gets back the fresh blood and then pumps it into the whole body. Other than that, doesn't serve the metabolic purposes. So if by choice you do not drink alcohol, try to reduce your weight, do not try to load your liver with a lot of fat, you do not require any medication. So far as COVID-19 is concerned, there is no one-to-one medicine which is meant for treating you with COVID. What you need to do is protect yourself. In fact, there have been excellent guidelines from CDC, from our own ICMR, and then Government of India and AIMS, which tell you need minimum medication. Leave aside the alternative. Even allopathic medicines are needed in minimum doses for a minimum duration of time. They will do more harm than good. Especially all chemicals, all ingestions, all food has to be metabolized through the liver. So anything and everything which you are taking for any purpose, you have to take under the guidance of a registered medical practitioner. Take it for a minimum period of time at a minimum dose for a minimum duration. Never self-medicate yourself. Here is where I'll request Professor Sareen, who is at such a high pedestal, sir, why can't we have a regulation that in India, no medicine should be available across the counter? If we can do that with the help of Dr. Sareen, I think we'll be able to prevent extensive damage. I'm not talking one particular Giloy, allopathic medicine or homeopathic medicine or any medicine.
But sir, I specifically mentioned Giloy because there is a lot of debate around it, and also it's not just Giloy. There are a lot of, as I said, Ayurvedic alternative medication which people are taking. Dr. Kaushal, would you also agree with Dr. Arora? Would you also perhaps tell your patients to stay off this concoction of alternative medicines which claim to be herbal and perhaps give you better immunity against coronavirus?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thanks for having me on the show, Meenakshi. So, like you said, these herbal and alternative medicines, even before this pandemic of COVID started, we have been saying, and all of us, I think Dr. Arora and Dr. Sareen would agree, that all of us would be advising our patients, whether they have liver disease underlying or they don't have an underlying liver disease, to avoid taking herbal medicines of which we are not sure of the ingredients. And lo and behold, when this pandemic came, we suddenly realized that there were a lot of patients who were coming into us with unexplained liver injury and even liver failure. Some of them have even died. And only after a few months, we realized that they were taking a concoction, and the most common ingredient of that concoction in these particular patients was giloy. And in fact, you would have recently seen a publication published in an index journal, which presented about 5 or 6 cases similar to what I've been talking about. And I think all of us have seen such cases. And I don't see how we make a diagnosis is by exclusion of all other causes. We could not find any cause, and only this thing stood apart as patient abusing. They were using kadas and of what not. I don't know what kind of mixtures they were having, what kind of concoctions. 2 times a day, 3 times a day for almost a year they were having it, and then they landed up with liver injury. So I definitely think these are the culprits in such patients.
And Dr. Sareen, could it also affect perhaps a healthy patient, someone who has a healthy liver, and they start to take their alternate medication? Because one, they're very well advertised, and two, there is a genuine fear, agony, in the mind as far as coronavirus is concerned. Every second person, at least I know, elders in my own family, are going ahead and consuming these medicines. What would be your advice to them?
See, I would only say, unless there is a scientific published data, like, for example, even for paracetamol, the drug we take very commonly for fever, there is good and bad. So if paracetamol is taken by a guy who is drinking alcohol, even just 2 grams, 4 pills of 500 milligram, 4 bar goli le li, to his liver can pack up with paracetamol. And if this is for a healthy person, it may be even 6 grams or so. But I'm saying any medicine, whether allopathic or homeopathic or Ayurvedic, or preparation can be harmful or beneficial. I do not know much about the medicines which the homeopathy or Ayurvedic people give, but I can certainly say there are certain herbs which are not beneficial, maybe harmful. There are certain preparations, unless they have published data of safety, or they have that they are only beneficial, they should be taken. Just don't take anything where there is no scientific evidence of benefit.
But that's a pertinent point.
Second important was what Dr. Arora also said, immunity is just keep the liver healthy. Avoid every drug will go to liver. Every product you will go to liver. So don't insult it unless you know there is a clear benefit. So corona first will go to the lung. After lung, the cells will go to the liver and settle. This is called bystander hepatitis. Bystander means everything which else corona will do, the injury can come to liver. So after lung, liver injuries are very common. We call it ALI, acute liver injury. So say somebody has severe COVID, he will have something like 70% of them will have liver enzymes being normal. Mild COVID, maybe 10 to 20% have liver enzymes being normal. So liver can be injured by corona. Drugs which are given, foods which are taken, preparations which are taken, all can cause injury to liver.
And let me bring you to the drugs, sir. Since you mentioned, you very rightly said, because as far as COVID is concerned, everyone's focus right now is lungs. Everyone has an oximeter at home. Everyone's talking about, of course, their oxygen levels. Focus is lungs, but then there are other organs also which get affected by COVID. And one of the most important and crucial organs which is getting affected by COVID, as you rightly mentioned, is liver. Talking of drugs, sir, there were reports that azithromycin, remdesivir, those drugs could also affect your liver, but they were very widely prescribed by physicians. What would you say to liver patients? Should they stay off these drugs? And those who get serious, perhaps are told to get, perhaps their families are told to administer remdesivir. What are they supposed to do then?
So remdesivir cannot be given in a patient with liver disease, severe, moderate to severe liver disease. That is out. Secondly, it's not any more beneficial proven. So I would be very, very hesitant to give. Azithro also can cause liver injury. In fact, there is no reason for giving these drugs if the patient has pre-existing liver disease. In those, if you have read some very interesting Lancet paper, the corona was more progressive, more serious in those who had a body mass index of about 25. And in India, nearly 30%, 1 in 3 have high body mass index. They all have fatty liver. So the disease is more common, they are more susceptible, their injury is more progressive, and liver injury enzymes being abnormal are very high. Second, if somebody is also mixing the alcohol with corona pills and people were staying home, what were they doing?
Well,
They were drinking.
a lot of them were drinking, but I have alcohol since you mentioned it, sir. Dr. Arora, I know a lot of patients, not liver patients, but younger ones who are comorbid, perhaps have diabetes, etc. The day they recover, the first question in their mind, we all know nowadays, is, Doctor, I have recovered. Can I have a drink now? What would you say to those perhaps who have liver diseases, have been craving a drink, perhaps got corona, have recovered, and post recovery are perhaps craving a drink? Should they hold their horses? What would you say?
You see, drinking as a habit, when it is harmful for you, certainly is not recommended. If you look at our baseline population, which has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease to the tune of about 20 to 40%, coupled with so many metabolic abnormalities like diabetes, dyslipidemia, hypertension, these are all the risk factors which will aggravate your injury related to alcohol. Once in a while, socializing is understandable. But the problem is alcohol is an addicting agent. You never know where to put in a stop. In fact, if you look at the data, even in the US, the maximum number of the cases which are being reported after cure from hepatitis C are the ones related to alcohol. Every second patient in US is related to alcohol. This is something, again, which is totally preventable if we're able to have abstinence. That is another point where I like Dr. Sareen's intervention at highest level. If he remembers, the first thing which got opened up in the lockdown was the liquor vendors in
Liquor
Delhi.
shops. Yeah.
So that is something. So that is where I think people like Dr. Sareen should step in. This is something which is absolutely preventable. And I'm sure we have seen millions of the deaths, millions of widows and workforce loss and economy loss and whatnot. This is something which is absolutely preventable. Not only on its own it causes problem, but in patients with underlying fatty liver disease or those with hepatitis B or C, this alcohol is an added synergistic effect to cause further liver damage. So unless you are sure that there is nothing wrong, you should not take alcohol.
All right, it's always best, of course, to avoid alcohol, especially those who have just recovered. But Dr. Kaushal, when we speak of the severity of COVID, I think Dr. Sareen very rightly mentioned the focus has been on lungs. But what would you say when it comes to the severity of COVID? Is it proven, or as far as liver patients are concerned, does COVID affect them more severely if perhaps they have liver cirrhosis? And what about those who perhaps have had a liver transplant? And let's talk about that as well in detail.
Right. So I think there is now ample data to suggest that patients who have fatty liver disease, they have a very severe lung disease also when they acquire COVID. They have very poor outcomes. More number of them end up in the ICU, end up on a ventilatory support. And similarly, patients who have underlying cirrhosis, cirrhosis can happen because of n number of causes. But once they have advanced disease, then these patients, if they acquire COVID-19, are at risk of developing liver failure and dying because of that. So definitely there is data to suggest that fatty liver and underlying cirrhosis, when advanced, are risk factors for liver disease. Now coming to second point you raised was for transplant patients.
Yes.
So patients who are just at the stage where they are waiting for transplant are the ones who are already in advanced liver disease, advanced liver failure. So obviously, if they acquire COVID-19, they are at higher risk of dying. Second, once they have been transplanted, once they have got a new liver, they already are immunosuppressed. Now the data regarding that is controversial. Some school of thought say that since they are already immunosuppressed, they are not able to mount an immunoinflammatory response to COVID, so they may have a mild disease. But this is a controversial issue, and more data is coming in. But all we can say that they have a significant mortality, but possibly not more than patients who have who are not transplanted.
Right. So, Dr. Kaushal, what would you tell all your patients? What would you tell them? Should they perhaps go, as Dr. Sareen said, get vaccinated at the earliest because prevention is better than cure, and perhaps it is these patients who are already susceptible, who already have a compromised immunity, who need to get vaccinated at the earliest.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's a lot of vaccine hesitancy, especially in patients who have comorbid disease. So since they have an underlying disease, they have this anxiety that whether the vaccine will suit them or not, or whether it is going to cause any harm to them. So we keep getting phone calls and patients, they just want to ask one thing, that should we get vaccinated? So answer for all of that is whether they have an early liver disease or an advanced liver disease, they are best in a vaccinated state. So they should all get vaccinated, whichever stage of liver they are in. Because if they don't take, and if they have advanced liver disease, and if they catch the infection, then definitely the outcomes are going to be worse. So the one line answer is that any patient who has any kind of liver disease must take a vaccine.
Right. Dr. Sareen, actually, this topic is very close to my heart. Also, it affects me personally. Also, you may not know this. You have a lot of patients. My father-in-law is your patient. He has liver cirrhosis, and he recently got COVID. In fact, my whole family did. So he had thrombosis later, and it was a major cause of worry because we didn't know what was happening. Post-recovery, D-dimer, other levels were coming fine, and suddenly, when someone spits up blood or there is, blood in cough, you really get worried. And we immediately got him admitted to the hospital. What is the post-COVID care? I'd like to ask you also this question because a lot of people seem to be ignoring that. I've seen that in my own house. Once you recover, people feel like this is the end of story. We can just go back to normal, but that really isn't the case. How do liver patients manage long-term COVID symptoms?
It's a very good question with limited data.
Okay.
First, patients with liver disease have weak muscles. We call it sarcopenia. Even if they are obese, they have very limited muscle power. Muscle is an alternative to liver. So if your liver is weak, your muscles are also weak. And after COVID, there is extreme fatigue. There is loss of appetite, and the people lose their weight, and also their muscle power goes away. Their strength, energy goes away. So, and the immediate exercises are not a good thing. Say somebody has cirrhosis, and about 1% of population may have it. These people suddenly cannot go back to exercise. We recommend everybody. So graded exercises, graded improvement in their protein diet, and remember, a COVID in a patient with cirrhosis can put him back by a few months. Therefore, you have to work extra, be more careful about this. Also, get your antibodies done after COVID in a liver disease patient. Many of them, because of low immunity, never make antibodies despite COVID.
Yeah.
So then if they have got vaccine, they may not even make a good amount of antibody. It's not necessary they will, but you should get your antibody done. The second important thing, for a patient with cirrhosis after COVID is gone, is to remember that liver can digest more of fats than it can digest just pure carbohydrates. So just avoid some carbohydrates. Your main diet should remain a protein based, good whey protein or something. And then next energy source can be fat. But yes, exercises are very essential. It's very difficult for patients who have got cirrhosis and COVID. Very difficult.
Well, yeah, it certainly is difficult, sir. And you very rightly mentioned something about, producing antibodies in COVID patients, Dr. Arora. So, the one question which comes to the mind of liver patients is that they already have a compromised immunity. They may not make enough antibodies. So is a vaccine even good enough for me? What if I just don't end up making antibodies?
You see, all patients who have immunocompromised state will not produce antibodies. If you look at the various registration trial which was conducted in both US and UK, the initial registration trial excluded patients who had chronic liver disease or those with immunocompromised state. In fact, there is a data published from Pfizer's in registration trial which had shown that in patients who have advanced liver disease, the chance, and those who have undergone liver transplantation, the chance of development of antibodies is only 20%. So not all those with immunocompromised state will develop antibodies. But what Dr. Sareen was trying to say is In case you have developed antibodies, then you can be more confident that you will not have the viral infection. And in case
All right.
after getting vaccination, do not be under a wrong impression that you have been protected. That is an important message. If you do not have antibodies even after vaccination, you have to be extra careful. You have to use double the precaution which a normal person uses. So you just cannot move out. You just cannot move out to the public places. You just cannot lower your guard. You have to be extra cautious in that subgroup of the patient. So by default, all immunocompromised persons will not develop as brisk level of antibodies and robust response as a immunocompetent person will do.
All right, sir, we are reaching the end of our debate, and I'd just like to include all of you, starting with Dr. Kaushal. Sir, as we conclude, what would be your one message to all the liver patients, all those who are suffering from liver diseases, one, as far as prevention is concerned, and two, in case they get COVID?
So I think in terms of prevention, I think everyone knows in last 1.5 years what they have to do in order to prevent getting infected with COVID. That is masking, social distancing, and washing hands. So that is one message which is true even for patients who have underlying liver disease. Second, they should not fear. Patients who have early liver disease may not fear. They will have outcomes which are similar to normal population. Only those patients who have advanced liver disease, advanced fatty liver, obese, diabetic, and post-transplant patients are the ones who need to fear and therefore take more precautions. And they should get vaccinated as early as possible. And avoid, like we said, the herbal and these kind of concoctions which contain unscientific mixtures of medicines which might harm the liver. So these are my messages.
Right. Now, Dr. Sareen, last word to you. Taking Dr. Kaushal's message forward, what would you say to assuage the fear of perhaps those who already have liver diseases and generally have a fear of COVID? We were speaking earlier of transplant as well. Should perhaps people keep such procedures at bay or just go ahead with them?
Well, first message for rest of those who do not have liver disease is to reboot yourself. Lose weight, be careful. Only a healthy body will sustain the onslaught of any COVID infection. So be ready and be healthy. Those who have liver disease, be extra cautious. Transplants are going on, and in fact, nearly 100 have been done during the COVID era at ILBS, and I'm sure at many, many other centers. So please, if you need a transplant, you should go get yourself transplanted. But yes, those who are not, 1 in 100 gets a transplant. All other patients, 99 out of 100, please be careful. Be in touch with your doctors and specialists. Do not miss your drugs and get your regular screening done. Must get vaccinated for COVID, and do not let your guards down. Have COVID appropriate behavior. You will live normally and you will pass through with this COVID. Don't be worried, but be careful. Don't make a mistake.
All right. And final word to you, Dr. Arora. As far as COVID is concerned, we were speaking, of course, in extensive detail about managing your liver diseases, preventing COVID. Final question, those who have liver diseases, should they continue their medication, which they were taking earlier, or should they halt, at a time when they have COVID and perhaps are taking COVID medication? Because there's a lot of confusion, unfortunately, amongst the laymen on the same.
Yeah, I think almost all medications which are necessary for management of liver disease can be continued under the supervision of a trained doctor. That it goes without saying. But we have very few active COVID cases now, and I'm sure doctors are good enough to know what sort of combination is safe for them. Coming on to the message which I have to give, starting with what Dr. Sareen said about the liver on the right side, I think you should always listen to your heart. Heart is always on the left side, but it is always right. So if you have learned any lesson during this devilish, perfidious wave, second wave, which has killed millions of the people, if you have learned anything, then behave some civility, behave properly, get vaccinated, and do not just move out of the house. You should remember, till everybody is safe, don't be safe. The whole world has to get vaccinated before you can lower your guard. So listen to the heart if you have understood something from this devilish virus.
Well, I know what I learned from this. I will not mix up my left and right, and I will remember liver, of course, on the right. But thank you all for your time. It's been a very riveting conversation. I hope it helps all our viewers, those who already are managing their liver diseases and those who aren't. Perhaps one clear message coming from all the doctors collectively here is that prevention better than cure. Stay home. And I think, Dr. Arora, a strong message you drove home, and it gains all the more significance considering we have those viral pictures of people holidaying in Manali. Don't do that. We have these doctors who are working a lot for us. Let's keep ourselves safe. Thank you, doctors. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us on NewsX.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.